Well, we knew this one would sting if it went this way. Feels terrible because there were opportunities. The teams were, in large part, back and forth the whole game until late. A lot of missed opportunities for A&M. You force 2 turnovers and you net nothing out of them. You give the ball right back the first time. You get nothing out of the second one. You give up the safety. You give up a blocked field goal. It came down to the type of plays we thought it would come down to in the end. But the offense was also anemic down the stretch. The O-line and pass protection broke down, but I don't think it was the worst we've ever seen. I think he had enough time to make a pass, but he just doesn't have that quick trigger that Connor Wigman had. So I think the run blocking was not as good as the pass blocking. I think the pass blocking was good enough, but Max needs a little bit, just a split second more time in the pocket than what those blockers were used to when they were working with Connor Wigman. It seemed like he held onto the ball for a tad too long, and more so than the pass blocking breaking down. I thought that was responsible for some of that pressure late in the second half. I thought that their front seven was better than Texas A&M's running game, though. Their front seven was better than anything A&M tried to do in the running department. I thought Daniels probably had his worst game. I thought he was pretty much solely responsible for 2 drives stalling out. I think he was the one that was actually blocking for Max on that interception he threw. And I think it was because he gave up the pressure that he threw the interception. And then early we had a dud of a drive where I'm pretty sure he had lanes to run in, but he once again could not find them. And then again, he gave up a pressure on that drive as well. And I thought 2 bad drives were pretty much on Amari Daniels. I'll have to go back and rewatch it, though. I thought Le'Veon was the best running back, as we thought he would be going into the game. Surprised he didn't start. Surprised I didn't lean on him more. But yeah, I think their front seven, their whole defense locked in the second half. A&M was having way more success in the first half. I think their secondary really locked in the second half because Max couldn't find anything. But it was a tough pill to swallow because you had opportunities down the stretch. And then, of course, the Jimbo questions are going to pop up again, as we always knew they would after a loss like this. Just questionable on 4th down decisions. He went for it early in the game. He didn't get it. And I wonder if he went out of his comfort zone for that play. And he's like, I'm not doing it again the rest of this game. And he never seemed to make the right choice on 4th downs, kicking situations. And hindsight's 20/20. If that kick doesn't get blocked, you feel good about that field goal, which you probably needed down the stretch to make it a 1-score game after they got that safety still. It would have still been a 1-score game if you make that field goal. But the decision to go for it at around the 45, I think, to not go for it and punt it into the end zone instead of giving yourself a chance right there when you know you need to get a score. I think, modern college football says go for that. I'd have to watch it again, but it felt wrong. I personally, at first glance, don't have an issue with kicking the field goal at the 2-yard line because you needed a score, and if you didn't get a score there, it's over. And I think a field goal is more of a sure thing, even though he barely made it. I know a lot of people are upset that you didn't go for the easier touchdown there and then not have to go as far down the field to get into field goal range to potentially win the game if they got the ball back. But he kicked it, got it, and then you couldn't get off the field on 3rd downs. You had 2 opportunities to stop Alabama on 3rd down, and they milked the clock. They were able to get 1st downs on 3rd down. So they were able to milk the clock to the fullest. Those are the negatives. I'll have to rewatch it to get a better analysis. Very emotional out there. Positives were the defense is legit, at least the front seven, and the weaknesses are what we thought they were, the deep ball. Safeties aren't good at deep coverage. DeBerry seems like a liability one-on-one on the outside. I don't know what else you play over him. There's not much else there. With Grimes being hurt through camp, and now I think he's still hurt. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Tony Grimes until maybe after the bye week, if ever this year. I don't know what other option there is there. But, I think the safeties, the nickels, the D-line, obviously, the linebackers, great game. Great game. I think the defense played well enough for the team to win. I just think their defense locked in. Definitely the best defense we're going to face this year. We're not going to see a better defense than that. That's a top 5 defense in the country, if not better. But A&M's is right up there, but you're going to have that glaring hole, it seems like, the whole year. It seems like Burton is the only player that really consistently hurt A&M, because he was the one guarded by DeBerry. They were just going deep to him. DeBerry had good tackles in close. He had good tackles for the the short pass stuff. The short pass is not that big of an issue for this team. It's the deep ball. And it was DeBerry that got targeted. And then some mix-up with the safeties, Damani, Jacoby, on that deep touchdown. I'd have to rewatch it. I don't know what happened there. But the deep ball is what gets us. Just, that's what it is right now. And it felt like he was either going to get pressure. He was either going to get pressured or sacked, or he was going to have a deep completion, is how it kind of started to feel when they got momentum in the second half. But just a lot of conservative stuff. I didn't like not trying to get a field goal before the half. You had 35 seconds left. You had all the momentum up 17-10. You just run the clock out with like 35 seconds left. Why not get aggressive there? You have 2 timeouts. You're having success right there. I don't think that's... I think you got to be aggressive and grab wins like this. You can't just kind of play it safe like that. That's just my opinion. In hindsight's 20/20. But, you know, there's not much risk in doing that, I don't think. I mean, you could turn it over and give them the ball with a good field position and they get the field goal before half. But, man, you could really stamp that thing in with a little attempt there. You don't have to go crazy. You can do some intermediate passes and work your way down the field. Get to around the 30 and try it. That's just my opinion there. I didn't like that. But yeah, rough, tough pill to swallow. I think that's probably the best O-line we're going to play all year, even though they haven't had a perfect year. I think this defensive front is going to be as good as it has been these last 3 weeks for the rest of the year. That's not going anywhere, and that's going to give A&M a chance to win every game on the schedule that's still there. So, yeah, sucks. Feels bad. Feels awful. I'm sure y'all want to do it, so get in the comments. Unload on Jimbo. We're stuck with him. I mean, we are. We're stuck with him this year. And you know what? It could still be a good year. That might be the best team on the schedule still. It might be. Big road game coming up. Winnable game again. If the defense travels, the team's going to have a chance for sure. But that was such an opportunity there to win that game. Take command of the West. It's not over. Season's not over. But that one sucked. Gig 'em.